Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is July the 30th, 2020. Strong hand, long term, thinking Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Buy and hold, baby. Relentless, your home for Bitcoin insider information. I'm offended by selling. One day closer to an all time high. Hello, my elite friends. Be a unique beast. Defiance over compliance. If you have questions, I have answers. Type in BitcoinMeister or do a super chat. Get my attention if you've got questions. There'll be time for some questions here today. Speaking of today, there's always tomorrow. There's always a day after today. And tomorrow, 11 a.m. Baltimore time. That's 8 a.m. on the West Coast, Los Angeles. This Week in Bitcoin. Alex Svetsky returns. Neil Woodfine returns. Phil Geiger returns. What a veteran cast. Best freaking guest in the space. Strong hand 2024. Okay, here's some 80%er news for you. Freaking, and I warned everyone about this. YouTube is putting mid-roll ads into everybody's videos automatically. They threw it into a bunch of my old videos. I can't do a remove all at once. So if you go to my archives, you're going to probably see some middle of the video ads that were never there before. They automatically put it into my video yesterday. I have it set up so they won't put it into my new videos, so you won't have to deal with that. But I did warn everybody on a past show. YouTube told us that it's going to be the default. They're putting into videos as short as 8 minutes. Okay? They're going to have multiple ads in the middle of the freaking video. All right? So I think it's ridiculous. I think it shows that something's up over there. They're a little bit. They've kicked a lot of people off the platform. They've lost Joe Rogan, and maybe they need to recoup some money in other ways. I mentioned this on another show. It started, and it's so funny. They're not efficient about anything. You know, if you get kicked off, there's no real appeal process. But if they tell you they're adding ads to your videos on a certain day, they're doing it. So they're quite efficient when they're about recouping their losses there when it comes to financial stuff. But hey, they're a business. They can do what they want to do. Pound that like button if you are checking me out over at BitChute also. And pound that like button if you're listening to this on sportsmeister.com and you can't even pound the like button over there because it's not YouTube and you're just laughing your butt off at all the people still stuck on YouTube and that need to see my face that can't listen to me over at the podcast. sportsmeister.com. All right. Bitcoin sticker shot. Speaking of videos, I watched the great UK Bitcoin Master had Rocky Palumbo on earlier today. Both of these guys have been on my show before, of course, also. And the title, it intrigued people. People thought Rocky had sold all his Bitcoin for a new coin. Well, Rocky is a fan of valuing his wealth in Satoshis, okay? Instead of Bitcoin. And he came out, he said a term I hadn't heard before, Bitcoin sticker shock. I like that. When someone goes over to Coinbase, they see a bunch of coins listed and they all are close in price. You know, you see one that's $100, one that's $10, $200, and then you see one that's $11,000. There's some sticker shock there, man. You weren't expecting that. Wait a second, I thought these coins were all in the hundreds or the 3-digit realm or the 2-digit realm. What is this 5-digit realm going on? So people like Rocky are concerned about that people will be turned off. We also call it unit bias, and we're familiar with that term, but I like the Bitcoin sticker shock there. And so he suggests, like many have suggested before him, and he made a point today because, you got freaked out because he thought Rocky was selling his Bitcoin for something new. He was just in his mind, he was trading in his Bitcoin for Satoshis, which are the same thing. And he says, get 90,000 Satoshis for $10. And okay, that might intrigue some people there, okay? Now, I have said this all along. I still think it is too confusing for newbies to value things in Satoshis. They want simple dollar valuations. They want simple ways of dividing things. Again, it's the one Bitcoin show. At this point, if you want one Bitcoin, you need to spend $11,111. Oh my God! Oh my God! Did the Bowie bot predict that? Did the Bowie bot predict $11,111? Oh my God! That guy is always right, isn't he? That guy in Seattle that thought aliens were going to land in Israel in 2010. The Bowie bot. Don't you guys worship the bot? The bot? I mean, come on, the bot. I mean, the bot makes a video. The bot makes a video, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's always right." Adam, he said it was going to get to 8888. So, if it's at 11111 or whatever, he must have predicted that once too, along with the aliens landing in Israel. Pound that like button for flashbacks if you even know what I'm talking about. That hasn't been big for a while. The Bowie bot. Bowie bot was he was big in like 2016 and 2017. The aliens thing. I guess some people they couldn't take it anymore. But okay. So going back to what's going on here. Oh, he made up his own. It's his own computer. It analyzes the entire internet. It analyzes it, and it can predict the future. It can predict the future, and he was right. Bitcoin hit $8,888. Yeah, and they don't never predict. These guys who can predict the future with Shemitahs and aliens and everything. They don't talk about when they're wrong ever. And trust me, they're mostly wrong. And why don't you ask my 7-year-old nephew about what the price is going to be? He'll get it right eventually too. He'll get it right eventually. Maybe he has a supercomputer he built. Come on, people will believe anything. And this is the thing: people are so clueless out there that they cannot even tell the difference between the number of deaths and the number of cases. So I don't think the Satoshi thing is going to work for them very much. I mean, the general population is very confused about numbers, really needs simplification, keeping it in terms they can understand. But hey, this is where the big boys play. So if exchanges want to list things if they think that's going to get people to buy more Bitcoin, let them do it. Let them experiment. Everyone can go experiment out there. I do not have faith in the general public when it comes to numbers and because. And neither should you, because they all buy into the fiat thing, and that just makes us wealthier, okay? If the 80%ers are going to do what the 80%ers are going to do, you're going to do the opposite of what they're going to do. You're not going to fit in. Fitting in is overrated. Pound that like button. But it's good that Rocky and BTC Benny and UK BitcoinMeister and all sorts of people still are talking about value your wealth in Satoshis, etc. And everyone's welcome to do that if they want to. I know Matt Odell talks about that also. Check out yesterday's show. It was around this same time. A lot of you missed it for some reason. I don't know why. But again, the archives, disruptmeister.com. I just don't say it. Check out the links below for the heck of it to waste my freaking breath. You need to know what's going on here. And who's who in Bitcoin? I wondered. I mean, I just told you who's it. Rocky, BTC Benny, UK BitcoinMeister. A dude I never had on my show before who is a good person to follow, who knows about savings, who knows that Bitcoin is a newfangled savings account, something that I've been saying for quite some time. Pierre Rochard, there's a good dude right there. So I gave you a who's who in Bitcoin today. That Pierre Rochard is definitely a who's who in Bitcoin. In a Beyond Bitcoin moment, last night I decided randomly on my backup channel to do a Way Beyond Bitcoin show about RFK Jr. Why don't you guys just watch it? It is linked to below. It says subscribe to the backup channel, and you can see it's about the Weinstein brothers and their quest to form a third party, and maybe how RFK Jr. could be involved with that. Don't value your wealth in politics, but RFK Jr. is an interesting fellow, and I disagree with him on a lot, but he is willing to stand up to a lot of the nonsense that's going out up. He won't plunge anything into his arm that's rushed. Let's just say that. So check that out. He won't let anyone do that to him. But many Americans are clamoring for it, in fact. 5-digit round, baby. How you guys doing? All right. Yeah, there's Rocky and UK BitcoinMeister are in the house. Remember, you got questions, do the super chat, etc., etc. BitcoinMeister also. All right, moving on. Hoffman line time again. I haven't talked about the Hoffman line for a while because Bitcoin's been above that $100 billion market cap for a while. But it's a little known fact that Ethereum at one time, during those wild, wacky days of 2017, it also was above that Hoffman line. And Andy Hoffman's point was that when you get above $100 billion in market cap, you're considered quite serious by some traditional institutional investors and traditional investors. And Andy has agreed also with Dan Tapiero that the 1 trillion that definitely intrigued. When the cryptocurrency market totals to $1 trillion, that'll get a lot of people interested to consider it more legitimate. Now, of course, you should be happy that you consider Bitcoin legitimate right now, but I do think right now Ethereum's market cap is $37 billion. And it will reset Hoffman line again. There's only a few that will get to that Hoffman line in this decade. I mean, maybe only Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it depends on how much the dollar is inflated away also. I mean, you might be watching this in 2029 and laughing your butt off because Litecoin might be there. But that's the thing to remember. And Bitcoin, I believe Bitcoin will get to that $1 trillion market cap. So don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Oh, how can you say that Ethereum will be worth so much? Oh, I mean, what's the big deal if Bitcoin's worth $1 trillion market cap and the Ethereum is worth $100 billion? But right, my point in bringing this up now is that I do think it'll get to $100 billion market cap in 2021. All right, which is pretty soon. Which means it's not going to stay at its 3% of a Bitcoin. It will get higher than that. I mean, it probably will get to 6%. If not, I mean, it was around 10% for an amount of time, and it was over that for a while. 10% of a Bitcoin was 1 Ethereum. You probably don't remember that. The reason I bring this up is we got to get outside our Bitcoin bubble sometimes. It's awesome to be in the Bitcoin bubble, to learn about Bitcoin. But the Ethereum, the DeFi stuff, it is chugging along. It's playing a role in Bitcoin. Some of those people are taking their profits. Watch yesterday's show, I mentioned this, are taking their profits and throwing them back into Bitcoin, which is great. So, I mean, it's sloshing back and forth. That is something that Chris Berminski said today. And he is a dude, I mentioned him before. Do I agree with him on everything? No. Does he hype up the whole DeFi thing like to an incredible level of complication that is unnecessary? Yes. But he's a smart guy. A lot of people are following Chris Berminski. You should be able to take opinions that you do not fully agree with. It shouldn't sicken you, the stuff that he talks about, and it's only going to help you have a stronger Bitcoin hand and understand. This guy is not talking about flavors of the altcoin flavors of the month. I'm not telling you to worry about, to think about, to learn about the altcoin flavors of the month, but they're changing every freaking month. The Ethereum thing, and I said this in 2017, there are people out there with lots of money that dream of having the next Bitcoin, okay? That will do anything to have it. They love having a leader, Vitalik. They love something that is more complex than Bitcoin. Okay, there's various combinations of these people. So they're going to blow the Ethereum bubble up again. The DeFi tool is there. The ICO tool was before, okay? They're going to use the DeFi thing. And many people are going to, and newbies will find out about it. It's easily accessible. It's much more easily accessible than it was in 2017. You buy it at Coinbase real easy. So this is why I say that the hype machine is just starting. It's all cyclical, as I said. We're going to go through a 2017 and 2021 for Bitcoin and for Ethereum also. Now, there is a big caveat in all this that I should have said. It will get to that $100 billion market cap if they pull off Ethereum 2.0, which I think they can. If Ethereum 2.0 completely blows up in Ethereum's faces, whoa now, no, it's not getting that would be, who knows what would happen. Bitcoin doesn't have something like that, where something could go wrong that horribly. It's a big bet that Ethereum is making here with the Ethereum 2.0, but it looks like they'll be able to pull it off. They got smart guys over there. And so in our Bitcoin bubble, we have people that are just constantly, laughing at Ethereum. Oh, they put a picture of a fly on the book about Ethereum. Okay, I mean, if that gets you jollies, that gets you jollies, all right? But I'd rather look at this from a less emotional perspective and just prepare everybody for what we're about to see here. Now, I probably read this. I might have read this online. I'm going to I've read this before. If I have, I apologize. I know I've read it before. It's in my own head. This is by Bernitsky, and we'll get off the Ethereum after this. If you think DeFi will have a smaller impact on Ethereum than ICOs, you aren't paying attention. The ICO boom flexed Ethereum's ability to perform one financial service, early stage capital formation. DeFi will flex Ethereum's ability to perform all the financial services. All right, so you don't have to believe that, but that is a very good selling point. That's a very good marketing point. And there are going to be plenty of people who want to believe that, who will believe that. And yeah, so you're free to follow anybody you want to on you could be in a Bitcoin bubble if you want to on Twitter. I mean, you can follow Bikini Babes if you want to. I mean, that's one extreme to another, or something maybe more logical. And you can look at some of what these Ethereum guys are saying instead of totally vilifying them. And hey, and you can follow Udi too, who is no fan of Ethereum. So get all sides of the story there. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Ethereum is the next Ethereum, whatever that may mean. And I value my wealth in freaking Bitcoin. That's the bottom line. But there are other things going out there that we have that should be mentioned and that will make news. Oh yeah, Hoffman line, pound that like button. So to get all, if people were offended by Ethereum there, I'm going to get you pumped again, you fiat freaks, from the great Zach Vull, who's also been on this show before. And I want everybody to remember. Well, I don't know if you do remember December of 2017. When Bitcoin was a pumping. I mean, it got to 15,000. All of a sudden, it was at 19,000. It was unfreaking believable. 15,000 was a wild fantasy dream, and then all of a sudden, it came true. And then a second later, 19,000 came true, basically. So he says, and this will get you pumped, guys. You need to get pumped every day. Get that hand stronger. $20,000 will be a huge milestone for Bitcoin. But I tend to think the bigger deal is how quickly it moves from 20,000 to 30,000. I guess it'll happen in a matter of hours. Pound that like button. And it would have surprised me if something insane like that happens. So what does happen after the next all-time high? What happens after it reaches 20K? Because we're one day closer to the next all-time high. Is that scenario the scenario you see happening? It jumping all of a sudden to 30K? Now, I mean, if you would have told me in 2016 it's going to get to 15K and then all of a sudden it'll be at 19K in a few hours, I would have believed you, but who knows? I now am more prepared for something like Zach's scenario because I have been prepared for a very long time for Bitcoin to eventually hit the 6-digit realm, because my mind's been in the 5-digit realm for a while, and to have drops where it drops like $40,000 freaking dollars. So I mean, I'm prepared for that. So I'm ready for it to go up 10,000 in a day. I've always said there'll be days that it goes up by 1,000, down by 1,000, up by 5,000, down by 5,000. We haven't had one of those up by. Who knows? Who knows what's on the future? But I will say this: weak hands. If you tend to be a weak hand, you should prepare for that. Don't sell. Don't sell when it hits that all-time high, because you never know what's next. Okay, you never know. It's very tempting. It's harder for some people. And of course, that during that whole 2017, my hand was strong as a freaking rock. I never sold a darn Bitcoin. All right, pound that like button. I've never sold a darn Bitcoin for fiat in my life. And you know I've been making these videos for a while. And you know that my first 2 Bitcoin I bought in November of 2013. Maybe you don't know that. Check out the archives. So 2024 halving hype is what you think of when you get so excited when it's jumping to 30,000 or whatever comes after the all-time high. You can dream about it. And it's so funny. I look back on the all-time high from 2013 when it hit 1080 or 1100, whatever the heck it hit. And everybody was like, oh, how could it go from 800 to 1100 so fast? Or whatever it was, 700 to 1100. People were making a huge deal about $300 jump. Okay, how? It's the Willy bot. The Willy bot caused it. And it'll never happen again. We'll never have such huge jumps again. $300 jumps. Oh my God. Oh my, this, that, and the other. It was Willy bot. It was, and you know what? Maybe it was Willy bot that did it. But it's hilarious to look back on. We'll never jump 300. I mean, now jumping $300 is like a daily freaking occurrence around here. All right. All right, so it puts it in perspective. There are always going to be these naysayers who don't see the larger picture, that think certain things are impossible, and that they have proven that certain things are impossible by things that have happened in the past. Being the Willybot thing, that wasn't cool. I mean, there was some pumpage, some unnatural pumpage going up there. But just because Willybot did something doesn't mean that in the future Bitcoin can't have big gains. And a lot of people made that wacky conclusion, and now it is hilarious to look back upon. Okay, I'm going to see if there were questions. Roman Q had a question there. You guys got to retweet this for me, please. It's the best way to support the show. I can run a node from the command line, use a cold card and coin join, but I can't understand what DeFi is. No, there are plenty of people like that, and that's the beauty of DeFi. That many people will not understand what the heck it is and just want to be in on the trend, fitting in. So many people are making their DeFi influencers now. Apparently, oh my god, I'm going to vomit when I hear that word influencer. But yeah, there'll be more and more of those, and yeah, people don't have to understand what it is. You think people who buy those 6-tier altcoins know what the heck they're buying? No, of course not. So why would they have to know what DeFi is? All right, dudes. All right, that is it. I hope everyone's had a good fast today. It's almost over. No big deal here, obviously. I'm Adam Meister, and we remember what happened on this very sad day. But we look forward to many happy days in the future on a sad day, on Tisha B'Av. All right, I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, and tomorrow will be a happy day because it will not be Tisha B'Av. It will be This Week in Bitcoin, 11 a.m. Baltimore time. And what is that? 5 p.m. on the no, that's I don't know what time it is in London. You guys figure it out. It's earlier in London. It'll be a great show. International guest tomorrow. Pound that like button. Thanks a lot, guys. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Baltimore time. Thank you.